All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode here of Locker Room Sports. Thank you all for coming by and hanging out with me here for just a few minutes. We'll talk about some news going on around here in the land. Of course, we had one of our guys from down South Alabama, Qb Duckworth from Jackson, quarterback, four-star guy, one of the top QBs in the state. He choosed between Auburn and South Carolina. And that was kind of his arrangement there. Kind of felt like early, probably late last year, later in the season, even after Auburn had got Deuce Knight, the guy out of Mississippi, he's still a class ahead. And I think Arnold, he hadn't came yet when I was thinking about all this. So I kind of figured that Auburn could land a good in-state quarterback. DeBoer had already been out and been on trail with SMU pick at the time, Keelan Russell, and they wound up signing him. So I kind of felt like with where the class is and the type of offense that they run at Auburn, he would have been a good pick there for Coach Freeze. So he did not choose Auburn. There's just no excitement going on the Plains. There's no real talk or nothing going on. So Landon, he picked South Carolina. Good to stay in the SEC. Wants to go play for Beamer, and exciting program right now. They got a lot of stuff going on. We talked about this yesterday. They almost made the playoff last year. Some people felt like they should have got in it. Probably would have made a good stab at it. So he's going to take his talents as of right now. That's where he wants to be at. So I've seen him play live in person a little bit, and he's a real calm kind of young man. Seems like you don't let stuff really get to him. He's smooth in the pocket. He always stays adjusted to throw the ball down the field. His footwork is already pretty good. I mean, even as a senior in high school, he's got good mechanics now. And to get with a quarterback a coach up there and be with Coach Beamer, and you can see what they've done with Sellers already. So it's just a good selling point, to have a team to finish the season as well as South Carolina did. Seeing the product that they have, they're putting it on the field. Sellers is very exciting to watch, and he'll come in this year, and I suspect them have another. They'll probably be a 9-win team, I would think, and not picking Auburn for him probably led on the ideas of what have I seen out of the program the past 2 years with this staff, and we hadn't seen any kind of development for the quarterback at Auburn through Coach Freeze. Just absolutely none. That he sold us on the big idea that having Thorne back was going to be great. I knew it was not. I still sold out and figured they'd win 7 or 8 games, and they didn't. They were worse. So, what kind of hurts recruiting is just product on the field. It's just that is what it is. And it just don't look real good. So we'll talk about some Rivals' highest average rankings per commit by team right now. Just you take an average of the players and their grade, kind of average it out to see. Just kind of see a 1 through 10, and I see a lot of SEC teams in here. So that's what we're looking for. Oregon starts out the top there with a 92.28 average commit ranking. Highest average is LSU at a 91.8. And Bama coming in behind them at a 91.5. Notre Dame 91. I'm just going to round these up. I ain't going to say the decimals really. Size if it's a half. Ohio State's 91 also with Notre Dame. A&M is 91. USC and Georgia, all 91s. This is highest average per commit in their rankings by Rivals Industry. And Florida and Texas rounding out the 2 bottom there with 90s. So that tells you this is going to tell you the caliber of players. Like, you could have a lot of players, and USC has, them and Georgia have probably the most players. Ohio State has a lot of players. and they're averaging 91, so that's pretty good. And Georgia right behind there, they're in there with a 91 also, and Texas at a 90. But SEC wise, LSU and 92, and Bama at a 91.5. So means they're high rankings for their average of the scores for across the line for their players. So now this is a predicted order and finish. This is from Chris Phillips. Just shared this online and had some stir about it. He did, however, looks like he has Texas winning the SEC, but he has Bama at 1 and Texas at 2. He has Georgia coming there at 3, LSU 4, Florida 5. Then on down the list is SEC teams from 5 on down. You have Florida, Ole Miss, A&M, South Carolina 8, Missouri in the top 10, right over Oklahoma, Tennessee at 11, Vandy at 12, Auburn 13, Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi State finish out the bottom 3. Now, what do y'all think about it? I don't know. And right now, the saying is, it goes like this: everybody's undefeated right now. Everybody's 0-0, and nobody's even played a game yet. So a lot of these ideas and stuff we're foreshadowing and to have our opinions and to make an educated guess. But to make an educated guess, you have to have some books to read. You have to study and understand what the idea of what we're looking at here. So I'm saying that to say with Bama, I'm just saying, how could they be 1? Texas is also starting a new quarterback. Georgia's starting a new quarterback. LSU's not. I'm not an LSU fan, not even really even a little bit. We all have other teams that we pull for, in the conference when they play, outside teams. But tell me, hit the comments over there on the side while you're there. Hit the thumbs up, give me a thumbs up on the Facebook page and YouTube. You can subscribe to the channel. It's free. It don't cost you nothing. It'll just let you know when we go live. And during this time of year, right now, will be coming on a day or two, but at least 2 days a week. And Sunday's always at 6 o'clock. This Sunday, we'll be doing some other top 5 teams to kind of take a look into Clemson's, Ohio State's, Oregon, see what's up with them and how they're being projected here. But I don't know. I just don't see the love for LSU. And I was saying that, I'm not a fan of them. Probably not even a little. Probably more of an Ole Miss, Georgia, Bama. Probably I can kind of get behind those teams. Florida, okay, some. That's some great teams. Loved the old ball coach Steve when he was down there. But how we got Bama 1? We're just doing it by supposed, because they have a lot of players back. Same backfield, same offensive line, same receiver core. You added one, which is Mbakwa, which played down there at Central. He's a 5-star, crazy athlete, defense, offense. He played Wildcat quarterback, and he did win. Just kind of single-handedly, won a big game down there for them. They beat, I think was it Thompson that they beat that night I watched? I just never seen nothing like it. I'm talking about Macumba. He's a receiver also. He's one who's going to play a little both ways at Bama. Had long dreads and stuff. Watched him in high school. He's a super athlete. How's Bama 1? 9 back on defense. Lawson, Jefferson, Jackson, Sabb, Hubbard. They got a lot of guys back. And all those freshmen they played last year, from Red Morgan to Brown and all those guys. So I can see where you could try to make a guess, but they're all guesses. So really, but it just seems like there's more. If we're going to make an educated guess to make a real proclamation about something, if you've seen it, then you could speak more on it. And I've seen Nussmeier. I really like him. I think he's great. I think he's a good quarterback. He's him and DJ at Florida, and they got Florida at 5. And Sellers, those guys, and they have South Carolina. They have them down here at 8. They have the best 3 returning quarterbacks I think now Tatum Green, the kid at Arkansas, he's not bad either. Kentucky's got a hot mess going on down there. Mississippi State also got a big mess. Ole Miss is starting to, going to have a different quarterback. Now, he's good. Now, I remember the kid coming there, and they just kind of handled Georgia. I'm about the Ole Miss backup. Dart went out. So they kind of got like 5, 6, 7, 8. It's Florida, Ole Miss, A&M, and South Carolina. A lot of people are kind of high on A&M right now. Like Coach Elko's getting it done, but I'm guessing they're just a little unsure about Alabama being one already. When we just heard a lot of stuff through the summer of how not sure about DeBoer, and they were like 50th in recruiting, and he just can't get it done, and he's other fan bases. He's just from out in the Midwest, and he can't recruit in the state of Alabama. He don't understand the Southern culture, that kind of stuff. And I was saying the whole time, it's Alabama. They have, and when the kids that did come, one of the guys said, well, I mean, their tradition of winning, like, well, they're not going to win it every year anymore. I mean, the playoffs have changed things up, but they're more than likely, if you give a 5-year time, they're going to play for it probably 3 out of 5 years, and that's why they come. So they do have a good class, and the coach was doubted in summer, and it was just kind of rainy days, it felt like, at Tuscaloosa, just keeping up with it and reading stuff about it. And now, just like today, boom, Friday, July the 18th, everybody's high on Bama. I guess we'll just find out. And speaking about Bama, they have the PFF Power Ratings, college football Permax, Chadwick. You have Ryan Williams, Overton, Tim Keenan, Proctor, and Bray Hubbard. We were just talking about him. The guys just going to be early power ranking picks to be All-American, all SEC players. So that's very interesting. And we'll go through this last part here. Preseason media, all SEC teams. This is kind of picked off of after the media days. On3 puts this together. So shout out to them for putting this together. And it's offense and line. And they got a defensive line. I put it on the page earlier, so you can check that out. Offensively, looks like you got and I don't know if this is really in any order. They're just listing. It looks like they just listed by position line. Okay, the top quarterback for the SEC is here. Running back here, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end, and they got linemen in the center. So offensively, we're just talking about sellers. Lenoris is a geeky-looking kid that come on the scene and wearing his glasses and his pick. I remember looking at Rivals and stuff and studying about him, and went and watched some film on him before he played and stuff. And he's very Cam Newton-like. He's not as big as Cam, but he really moves around the pocket. He's hard to get down, very hard to sack. You better not try to grab him up high. And he may have cost them the game last year. They had a chance to beat Alabama, and the defense line kind of rode up on him pretty heavy. Their offense line was okay, wasn't great, but they've got him number 1 this year. Now, I don't have a huge problem with that, but again, not an LSU fan. Don't care if they're fans. They are absolutely the most sadly obnoxious guy, especially the podcast people. The Matt, what's his name? Terribly out of focus on his ideas and stuff. He still hates Nick Saban because he left. He still hates him. But they got Sellers, the quarterback for the SEC. Running backs, they have Wisner at Texas. I think that's probably as good as any, for returning backs. Pretty good. And then, of course, Moss at A&M, he's really good. I see him having a really good productive year, and I think he's the reason things kind of stay up toward the top 5, 6, or 7 for the A&M. Wide receivers, check this out. This is pretty cool. In the state of Alabama, these 2 guys played against each other for years, and it's Ryan Williams and then Cam Coleman, Alabama, and of course Auburn. Ryan being 2-time Mr. Alabama here in state, his sophomore, junior year before going his senior season to come play college, and so Cam is a year older than him. So that's pretty cool. that state has got the two top receivers. They're from here. I like that. The tight end, the Stowers kid, Eli Stowers at Vandy. I didn't know a lot about him. I remember them saying his name some last year. So after looking a little bit into his stats, I think he went up with over 800 yards in receiving. So that's great. Then offensive lineman, you got Bama's Proctor, you got Green at Missouri, you got Campbell at Texas, and then the Barber kid at Florida. Also finishing the list there, which I'm not being biased, I'm just being honest. I've been pulling for LSU these past two topics we've been talking about. But they got the Slaughter kid at Florida. I think Browsford would have been a better pick to put on that list for offense. And maybe they saw, well, we already got Ryan Williams and Proctor for Bama. So we don't have three Bama players on the offense list. And are you splitting hairs with them? Maybe. We'll see how the year goes for them, and we'll see how their draft pick goes. There's not a large gap between it, so it's not a huge deal, but I think Browsford's great. I think he does a great job there in Alabama. Now, defensively, we're going to pick up one. You can't pick one for every team because you only got, 11 and 11. So you got to pick 11 players, and sometimes it just is what it is. On this defensive side, you got 3 Georgia guys and 3 Texas guys gobbling up the defense. And I do have a huge problem with this side because on one, thing they put out, you got Bama up there at 1, but then you don't have any defensive player from Alabama on this SEC list. And I would assume that that's what kind of propped them up to be 1 in this other list that you make because their defense. And then you don't even have them on the wow. Keldrick Falk at Auburn, they're starting with 4 defensive linemen. So you got Falk at Auburn, don't have a problem with that. Stewart at South Carolina, no problem with that. Simmons at Texas, don't have a problem with that. And Miller at Georgia, don't really have a problem with that. But I could see where Jefferson or definitely Tim Keenan. I don't know, man. I think you could have been up in there maybe over Miller. That's just my opinion, which means as much as the next guys. Just from watching him play last year, and not that Miller's bad. I'm just saying that I probably would have picked some of this guy over him. So 3 linebackers. You got a Texas guy, LSU guy, and a Georgia guy on this list. Anthony Hill Jr., have no problem at all. He is a dude. He is a football player. Followed him around for watching rival stuff and huddle. He's a football player. Weeks at LSU, I bragged on him a lot last year. I didn't think he got enough love. I didn't think from a lot of media sources. I think he's great. And C.J. Allen is really good, man. At Georgia, he is one of those. These 3 picks, you really can't go wrong with those 3 guys. And then we have 4 DBs. You got Georgia, Texas, Georgia, and Tennessee. You just had like Herbert over here on this, preseason power rankings, and I know I think he could have fit in here over. Now, Gerard McCoy is good at Tennessee. He's got a lot of playing time. We talked about him a good bit. I think when Todd broke them down, we went through them. The Everett kid at Georgia, I think he's good. And then the Taffy kid at Texas, he had some good games, but overall the season, he seemed, not that he is forgettable, but he seemed forgettable to me. He had some good games, but there's times it seemed like when he needed to make some bigger plays, he didn't. But you could probably say that about a lot of them. Now, the other DB, the one from Georgia, KJ Bolden, he's him. He's great. KJ Bolden is a jam up, splendid, super athlete. Also, we got through that list, and we'll talk a little ACC here. Just earlier today, Amari Thomas decommits from Florida State. And I wanted to see, and I was supposed to get a message back, see where he may wind up. If anybody has a guess, please share. Amari Thomas, I mean, he's from down there, okay? I know he played high school down there at Marina, and it's just kind of shocking a little bit. I don't know if Florida has, put the feelers in the water, but, it seemed like Beamer is making a push right now they got a quarterback, and I'm just saying this. So mark this down. I may not be the first one to say it. I hadn't heard anybody else say it yet. But class of 26 running back, 5'10", 178 from Marina, Florida, Amari Thomas, leaving Florida State, I think at the time he decommitted today, seemed pretty coincidental to me that it's the same day that Duck committed to South Carolina. So those boys might have talked and said, hey, he may have called Duck and said, hey, man, what you got going on? He said, well, I'm going to Carolina. Man, I'm going to run behind you, man. We're going to get this together. That's how a lot of guys recruit. The kids, the young men recruit other players. So I think that he's going to go to South Carolina and follow Duck up there. What's up, Cody? I wish Auburn would have picked up on some good ones. Yeah, Cody, you can go back over on the channel there on the spot, and I could pull it up there and show you. I talked a lot about them yesterday and kind of where we're at with SEC here. And basically the idea, the video I just dropped, it just come out at 5. And it's only about 10, 15 minutes. You can go there and watch it. Just go on our YouTube channel, and it's the one where it just shows me on the cover there, and it's just talking about a 9-game schedule. And Cody's right. You're obviously, a fan, and I'm a fan of the conference one. I'm a Jacksonville State University alum, and to pull this off productively, because it's going to happen. The Big Ten already plays a 9-conference game schedule, but when we look at the strength of schedules, it's really not good. And Texas is being an SEC. I remember looking through theirs last year. It was terrible. So for them to pick up a 9th game in the conference will be great. But, Cody, if Auburn, when they pick up their 9th one and all this starts shaking out, okay, we'll say Auburn starts playing Oklahoma regularly, or well, they are now. So what if they start playing Florida regularly? That used to be, if you're old enough, dude, Auburn and Florida used to have some great games. It's important for us as a conference for both those teams to be ranked. They've got to be ranked. It just does no good to take away Southwestern Missouri off the schedule, or Austin P. I say Auburn dumps Austin P and they pick up Florida. If they're not ranked, that's not helping us any. It's fixing to go to 16-team conference, and strength of schedule is going to help, but there's going to be so many other teams in there. We've got to look strong, because these other crap like we had last year is going to get in. Indiana and SMU and Arizona State or Boise, those teams are going to get in because these feel-good people that just want to put people in there because they're on ESPN, and it's just feel-good stuff. We know what it is. I ain't trying to be political, but if you watch sports and you keep up with it, you know exactly what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, me too, Cody. I'm with you on that. And Auburn does play, some smaller in-state teams. I like that. Here's the thing. if we're going to play 9 conference games, if we're going to play 9, then if they're not going to be ranked if Bama's going to start picking up playing Florida every year again, we're going to start that, or whatever, we need them to be ranked. Alabama Auburn's going to play no matter what. They have to be ranked. What does it really help? We're playing the SEC, Matt. That's where it means more. Okay, we can say that all the time. And I'm a SEC guy. You can see the people I got behind me back here who I support and check out and look into and talk about and report on. God dang it, man. It's got to be better. The other side of the coin is Auburn might as well just play Jacksonville State and let them come up to Auburn or go down over to Auburn and play there and get a check for $200,000 and have a good, a really good game. Have a good game. I think they could play each other right now pretty well. I think Auburn should be ahead of them. I mean, recruiting wise, it is what it is. We might as well just do that. Because Coach Kelly at LSU said, and we're going to play our non-conference games. They're playing Louisiana and Southwest Louisiana, another small school in the state, because they're keeping the money in the state. Hey, I can dig it. I'm okay with that. That's great. That's what we need to do. Georgia, play Georgia Southern. I don't know, even play Kennesaw State. You don't think kids at Kennesaw State would love to come up to Athens and knowing that they wanted to go to school at Georgia, some of them maybe, and they couldn't get in, maybe ACT scores, or maybe they didn't have the money to go to camps. So some of these kids that you see at smaller schools that are really good, you think, well, man, why didn't he get one? Why is he just a 3-star, not a 4? He's pretty good. Some of these kids don't have money to go to camps or people to take them. So if we're not going to do that, if we can't, we got to all get together. Arkansas, Mississippi State, Auburn, Vandy. You got to do better, man. And I'm worried about Missouri slipping a little this year. I'm not worried about Tennessee or South Carolina. I'm not worried about them. And Florida's doing better. I can see them trying. I can see Billy doing better. So we got to have our teams ranked. That's just the way what it's going to have to be. And if Oklahoma goes on a skid this year and they don't win but 6 or 7 games, man, they're probably going to be looking for a coach. And then we're all afraid that Pittman at Arkansas, I think everybody likes him. He's a great offensive line coach. Worked around there at Bama for a little while. If they don't do better, man, and you got Mississippi State and Auburn it's like they're fighting over last place. Dude, Mississippi State they were number 1 at one time. I remember when they had Dak there. I remember them playing Bama, and it was a big hype game and, a lot of attention to the program. Dan was there. And Auburn is better than Mississippi State. Auburn is better than Missouri. Auburn is better than Vandy. Auburn's better than Arkansas. They got to do better. So if we're going to have 9 conference scheduled games in the season, we're going to pick up another in-conference game, they got to be ranked. What's the point of playing it? Florida might as well play Florida International. I don't know. They got to do something different. Cody says, can you explain the Auburn and Nick Saban rumor? Can you explain the Auburn? And I don't know. There's so much crap out there, Cody, on Saban. We've seen yesterday his daughter said he's not coming back to coaching. Not at all. He don't have anything to gain, don't have anything to prove. So I did a whole show on it, Cody, probably a couple of days ago. You can go back and check it out. It's most of my videos are 20 minutes or something like that. I try to keep it short. If he did, I have a what if. I did a 10-minute what if on it. Where's he going to go? He's going to stay in conference. I don't think he would, because it would hurt. It'd hurt the conference, because he would get he would get recruits because he's Nick Saban. It would hurt Alabama. It hurt Georgia. It would hurt Auburn. And two, does he want to rebuild a school? Is Saban looking to rebuild? This is Friday. We're just going to do Roundup Friday. We're just kind of talk about some news of the week. And we talked about opening the show off with Duckworth, quarterback at Jackson, just going to South Carolina. Auburn shouldn't have missed on him. They just shouldn't have. Now they're going to say, well, they got Deuce. Well, but he ain't going to be there forever. Jackson plays next year and Deuce waits, and then he plays in 26, and I don't know, one of them's going to leave, and, it's always good to get another one. I think they missed on him. So just news to the week about that with Saban. Where does he go to? Is he want to rebuild a team, or is he just going to kind of reboot a team? Like he just kind of revamped Bama. Bama had been on a skid in and out for probably 5 or 6 years before he came. Just kind of floating around there, I mean, they'd won the SEC in 99. So that was nearly 8 years later, and they had a good year in between there somewhere. They won like 7 or 8 games. I know it's weird. If you younger guys are listening, there used to be a time in our lives that Bama wins 8 or 9 games. You're like, okay, we had a good season. That's why when we won 9 last year, I'm like, it's not a big deal. And the ones they lost, besides the Vandy game where they just absolutely didn't show up, the other ones were winnable. Like they just quarterback mistakes and confusion on play calling and crap like that. So, it's not a big deal. So he just kind of rebooted Bama. He didn't have to rebuild. And 3, who's going to be his staff? I give a scenario of like, well, good. I mean, we're talking about from Billy Napier to Dan Lanning to Kirby to Sark. All these guys have worked for him. Lane, they're all over the place. I mean, they're literally his coaches. They're involved in probably every school in the conference, really. Somewhere there's a assistant that worked on the staff with Nick at some time. There was a point when people were just trying to get the floor sweepers at Tuscaloosa just to get some piece of that at their university, to get some kind of little secret inside idea. So so the other idea that totally scratches all that would just be he's going to go pro. He's going to give the pros a shot again. The climate's way better now than it was 18 years ago or however many years it's been. Drew Brees was supposed to come, and all that happened. The doctor didn't make the decision. He wound up with the wrong quarterback, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I've seen and a lot of people just putting out pictures just so you'll click on or talk about it. Him with a Cowboys hat on. That ain't going to happen. He's not going to Dallas. Him and Jerry, they've tried. That's been mentioned, I think, before he went to LSU. Way back. And him and Jerry does not get along. They both want to control what's going on. When Nick's coaching, he's going to be running the show. This is how it's going to happen. Me, numero uno. If I'm getting my tail chewed out and have a chance of being fired for the outcome, I'm making all the decisions. And Jerry is not going to let that happen. That's the downfall of Dallas. So, Auburn, Nick Saban, no, I think that's not. There's just no reason for him to coach in college again. He's one of the winningest of all times. I mean, there's an EF with a big capital high F. If you did, I mean, what do you do? I mean, what's the point of I don't listen. I'm old enough. I'm nearly 50. So my favorite quarterback was Joe Montana, of course. I love the 49ers. Love watching Ronnie Lott and Roger Craig and all that group. Big Walter Payton fan, college-wise, love Bo Jackson and that stuff. That was my age group. I don't want to see Nick be Joe Montana to the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? If you're old enough, you know what I'm saying. I mean, he did okay, and they had Christian Okoye, the Nigerian nightmare in the backfield, and, the Chiefs were whatever. But I don't want to see Nick – I don't need a Dale Earnhardt Jr., last tour. I don't need a Goldberg last match, because you kind of remember somebody how they was their last time, and Nick playing for a title with that team that he had no staff. Dude, he had hardly nobody on that staff. He pretty much carried that team by himself with a system that they've tried to run, and it was about the fourth offensive coach that Milroe had. It was amazing job. Nobody else could have done what he done that last year. I just don't think so. I don't think so. So any of that, I don't see Nick get back into any other kind of coaching or any of that other stuff. So appreciate the questions though, man. I really do. Thank you for coming by, and I'll be back on. Well, Dean should be here Sunday. I think he may be on the yacht. He may have burned his 9 toes off. I don't know. He may have to come off the yacht and come back to work for a day. So, and again, we're going to probably talk about the top 3 teams or so. We hadn't done Clemson. I like to look into them, see, kind of dig around that idea because, man, back early or midsummer, a lot of talk about Clemson, how great they were going to be. Klubnik, top quarterback. And now these lists we're seeing like today, something happened at media day that just changed a lot of people's idea about Alabama. I don't know what happened, what's any different. I still think Nussmeier is the better returning quarterback. Probably the better tailback returning is probably A&M, Moss there. He's a guy. But it's all unknown. Everybody's 0-0 right now. So we'll talk about them Sunday. And Ohio State, how much they spending this year. Jeff Anderson, number 1 fan over here, sleeping a little bit today, maybe taking a nap. Lives over in Georgia, always on with us, and he'll be on Sunday. Always brings a lot of good information. He puts stuff on the page and stuff too. So, you can over there on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, go to our Facebook page and just type in Locker Room Sports Talk. And there's a lot of news over there I share over there every day. The YouTube channel is just for the videos, live videos of the week. And I have some posts on there here and there, but all kind of stuff on there all through the day is going on Facebook. And if you want to keep up with recruiting and who's high school stuff, and we live up here in North Alabama, so there in Northwest Georgia, we keep up with high school recruits and kind of where they're going. You can find me right down here on this side right here, that side, this way. I hate when I do it because it's backwards. Yeah, right here. At Big Matt 1977. That's on the Twitter page right over here in the corner. You can see that. And that's on Twitter. And go there and follow me over there. And come over and shoot the breeze and add some stuff, tag me in some stuff, some news, things y'all see going on. Love being part of the community and sharing news. And that's where the high school kids are. That's where they're telling where they're going. I follow a lot of high school players around the state. And I repost a lot of their stuff. And just my little, whatever I can help, I will. Really enjoy kids. I mean, I've done youth pastor stuff and all that when I was my son was younger, and coach ball and all that with them. And so I'm a kid supporter. I always want to know, no matter where they're going or what, I just want to share for them. And it's great, a young man or a young lady get to go play at the next level. It's awesome. So follow me over there at Twitter, and I do appreciate it. So y'all have a good evening. Come back, see us Sunday at 6 Central Time. We'll be live right here on YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe and like the channel. Okay. Love you guys. Appreciate it.